Welcome to this edition of Redhawks Center. The world of college sports has transcended into almost every aspect of society. Whether you're filling out a March Madness brackets with your friends, competing in NCAA-sanctioned athletic events, or even catching a few rays of sun while catching a Redhawks baseball game in Capitol Hall Park, there are 430,000 other student athletes who are in similar positions to you. On top of that, there are more than 500 million fans who are eager to watch you make that game-winning goal, shoot that jump shot that looks like poetry in motion, or run over that opposing lineman as though they were only mere pee-wee players. Because of the increasing popularity surrounding college athletics, the governing body of the NCAA has put in measures as to which member institutions and the student athletes are to adhere to. However, in the infamous words of Biggie Smalls, "Mo money, mo problems" have never been truer than in the world of college athletics. There have been violations of NCAA policies that have tarnished the reputation of college athletics and put student athletes into situations where their eligibility and reputation are at risk. Compliance issues are faced daily at NCAA institutions, and because of the growing importance of rules and education, we have invited a compliance specialist to join us and help educate us on some of those issues student athletes and universities face. Our expert today is Nick Smith. Nick is a former student athlete. He has a lot of years of experience in compliance, and I'm pretty sure he's committed some NCAA violations himself. So what better person than to invite on the show to help educate our student athletes on what and what not to do according to NCAA policies. Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on such a great platform to talk about compliance. But the first thing I must say is not every student athlete commits a violation.
You know, I'm sure they don't, but our purpose here is we want to educate everybody so they can avoid future problems in case they're in potential scenarios. And if we can do that, I feel like you said, every athlete won't, but even more will be educated on the rules and policies that govern our university.
It's so important to be educated on these issues, and along the lines, it will just be a great thing for the future for every student athlete.
You know, one of the things that I've talked about over the years is how, you know, what we face here at Southeast Missouri State might be different from what, you know, an Ohio State or a Boise State or a school like that faces. I think on general scales, we face things like impermissible benefits, you know, and things of that nature on a smaller scale. I don't think we have anybody dropping off $40,000 duffel bags full of cash like you see in the movie Blue Chips or anything like that. But there are certain situations that we face.
Just every student athlete just has to be aware of kind of their surroundings and just be aware that, you know, something that could be as easy as just a little money is just not acceptable.
One of the things that has plagued, you know, a lot of universities is impermissible benefits. And because of this scenario is so huge in the world of college athletics, let's take a look at this scene.
I would have been happy to get about 8 of those, but anyway. Send them my way.
Yeah, I'll be safe and
all right, y'all. Hey, good game.
All right, G. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'll let you.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Good game, good game. Hey, Tyler Stone, one heck of a game, man.
Mr. G, what's good?
Not much. Out there making me think of the ghost of Israel Kirk or something out there, man. How's school going? How's school going?
School's going fine, you know, everything's cool. You got that good win.
Yeah, big win, big win. How's it going? You know, I know it's tough being a college student. You doing all right with everything?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of tough, but I'm maintaining, you know.
So you're going to be in Cape this summer?
Yeah, I'm going to be down here, you know, working down and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to work something out here, maybe get you a little assistance. I know it's tough being in college. We'll have to get you some part-time work for some full-time pay with one of my companies, if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, most definitely. It's something I'm interested in.
Good. I mean, quadruple double again, man. I mean, that's awesome. You can't beat that around here. And I mean, obviously, you know, around here we appreciate you, and you know what quadruple doubles mean for us. So you just keep taking care of us, and we'll keep taking care of you. No problem.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem, Tyler. We'll see you later.
As we just saw in the video, the booster handing Tyler Stone that money or extra cash is really not legal. A lot of times, our only student athletes think that just because it's cash, gifts, and things like that, they know that's illegal. But one of the things that the video pointed out was the booster offered Tyler Stone employment during the summer. He said, you know, you can work half the time, but we'll pay you full time and things like that. Those such things are not permissible as well. And it's a situation like this that we face here at Southeast that we want to educate our student athletes on.
One thing that is just a good rule to go by is impermissible benefits is if it's not available to the general student population, then it's not available for the student athletes.
So you mean to tell me, I'm a basketball player, and I go to Subway and they say, hey, great game the other day, take this food, it's on us, you don't have to worry about it. That's impermissible benefit.
That's an extra benefit for you, the student athlete. If it's available to the general population here at Southeast, then it would be a good idea to join in. But as a student athlete, that's just an extra benefit. There's a lot of other things like use of an automobile from a staff member or a booster. There's a lot of little things that are just really just an extra benefit that the general student body doesn't have.
What happens if, one of our student athletes receive one of these impermissible benefits or extra benefits? Like, what is the result of that?
Just ineligibility, and that's just not a good thing for the student athlete, the team, and really just the whole university. I mean, you just really have to be aware of what you're getting from just kind of everybody around you.
Along with impermissible benefits, another topic that seems to have a regular occurrence in college athletics is academic dishonesty. Let's take a look at a scenario that deals with academic dishonesty.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all prepared for the test today. So I'm going to hand them out, and I want you to keep them turned over until I tell you to stop, and then I want you to put your phones away, and I want you to keep your eyes on your own paper, okay? So that's the rule for the test today. Don't turn it over until it's test time, till I say so. All right, everybody, good luck. Keep your eyes on your own paper.
Academic fraud is any type of cheating that occurs in relation to a formal academic exercise. It includes things like plagiarism, fabrication, cheating, and even sabotage. Hopefully no one is sabotaging. Sabotage is an act of trying to stop someone else from turning in their academic work. And you're just a cruel, evil person if you're trying to do that. Nick, I think we've had a couple of cases over the years of, academic dishonesty. How does this play out in regards to like your eligibility and things of that nature?
Well, first off, we take academics very seriously here at Southeast. We're very well known for our academics, and as an athletic department, we like to be known as a great school where a student athlete can come and play sports as well as get a great education. But in regards to eligibility, it's just important to just know and be aware that you're doing your own work, and you're there to get your own grade. You're not there to cheat. You're there just to if you really have any problems, we have a great, the Redhawks Center is great for student athletes to come and get tutored and really work on their academics. But in list of eligibility, you can really hurt yourself and your team just by cheating and plagiarism and some of the stuff that you speak of.
You brought up a point. Over in the Redhawks Success Center, I know a lot of student athletes do work in groups, and sometimes they do have, tutors. However, do you think there are times where that gets abused? Groups homework turns into taking the test and, things of that nature. Can you get expelled from the university, put on any type of probation or anything like that, will immediately affect your playing status?
Well, it's just like any other general student. If you do the wrong thing, there are going to be punishments where you could get kicked out of the institution, or you could get suspended from your team. It's just a matter of just being aware of kind of what you're doing academic-wise. And if there's any other questions that you have, just contact your compliance office.
There's so much that goes into being a student athlete that oftentimes the student athletes forget that they're always under scrutiny. I think sometimes student athletes do recognize that, teachers, put them on a different pedestal that they might student athletes, but that's not the only scenario where this occurs. A lot of big things these days is social media. You have, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, and the list goes on. And, we are constantly seeing student athletes put up offensive and graphic material that can get them in trouble. I think one of the scenarios recently was there was a couple of guys from, I think maybe the MAC conference who had all money and drugs posted on their Facebook profiles. It's like, are you serious? Like, do you want to get kicked out of school? You know, how is that? Has that any type of things like that happened here at Southeast, or what are our policies on that?
Just kind of the policies are, I mean, you're really representing your family, your team, and your school. So, I mean, with social media, it's a growing just thing, and everybody wants to be a part of it, and everybody wants to look up their favorite athlete and see what they're doing. You just got to be really smart and just know what you're putting out there. And I mean, everybody might have a rough game. They might put something bad on there. That could lead to a suspension. That could hurt your team. And that could just really, I mean, you don't want to put anything out there that is really going to come back, because it's going to be out there forever now that you put it out there. So just be aware of what you're putting out there, and just remember you're representing your family most importantly, as well as your school.
I think you made a great point that you're basically representing, you know, who you are and the people that have ties with you. Do you think social media profiles, well, misrepresentation of social media profiles could affect things like future employment or, you know, things of that nature?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, everybody looks at, if I were to hire somebody, I would definitely look at somebody's Facebook profile or maybe their Twitter, just to see what they're up to, see what kind of person they are. A lot of people look at that, and that could definitely hinder you down the line.
Well, I mean, that's a great piece of advice, you know. If there's a note to student athletes, don't put things on Facebook. It could get you in serious trouble.
What's up, Al? How's the knee?
Yeah, it's not feeling so good.
I mean, what's been going on? The past couple of weeks, you just haven't been the same.
I don't know, ever since it popped, I just can't run as fast as I used to. So how'd you get over your injury so fast?
I mean, nothing really worked at first. Then I started taking some of these a buddy gave me, and I came back quicker and better than ever.
So you seriously think that these are gonna work?
Yeah, just shake it up, stick it in your arm, and seriously, you'll be back to normal before you know it.
Another issue that plagues, you know, university athletics are student athletes and drugs use. I guess the most common types of things are, you know, performance-enhancing drugs, you know, masking agents, anabolic steroids, you know, even street drugs. I know the NCAA tests for those type of things, but what is the result of a student athlete testing positive on a drug test or something of that nature?
Well, just watching the video there, just one thing you got to be aware of is a student athlete or a teammate, they may not have your best interest in hand when they hand you something. Just make sure if you do take something from a teammate or another student athlete that it's cleared through the athletic training staff, and make sure that it is something that will not lead to a suspension. And a suspension could range from losing a whole season of eligibility and just being suspended for the season. So it's just being aware of what you're putting in your body and making sure it's cleared through the athletic training staff.
Sports wagering is another issue that we here at Southeast face. Basically, sports wagering includes placing, accepting, or soliciting a wager on any type of intercollegiate or professional sport. Another example of, I guess, sports wagering or betting would be point shaving. I don't know if we've had any point shaving type scenarios that happen here at, you know, Southeast, but we know over the past that, you know, those type of scenarios have occurred. What are some results of sports wagering and how they can affect your eligibility?
Well, first let me define on how the NCAA defines sports wagering. It's defined as putting something at risk, such as an entry fee, with the possibility of winning a prize, such as cash or other things. Because of this, student athletes, coaches, administrators may not participate in these competitions. And if they are caught or if they are in these competitions, they will be ineligible or receive other penalties.
I think what we saw from the video, we saw one of the football players, I think, taking bids or, you know, bets from an online sports gambling site. So I would say that would probably pretty much deem him ineligible if he's taking, you know, bets and competing in these like online fantasy leagues and things like that, which have an entry fee or cost.
A lot of friends will think it's okay to get a little, that's one of the small things. If you're putting an entry fee in and you're going to win a prize, that can lose to just loss of eligibility and maybe even permanent loss of eligibility. It's important to remember, especially during March Madness, that's the big time of year, just remember just not to put any money down if you're going to win money down the line.
And I would assume it would apply for professional leagues such as the NBA and NFL and their fantasy leagues as well.
Oh, yes, definitely. Just when you're going into the fantasy leagues, just remember that a free league is perfectly fine as long as you're not receiving anything towards the end of your fantasy campaign.
Our final topic for today deals with practice limitations. In-season guidelines are that there are 4 hours per day maximum with a total of 20 hours per week maximum and 1 day off per week. Out-of-season guidelines are set at 8 hours per week maximum with 2 hours of skill instruction, 2 hours of film review for football instead of skill instruction, and 2 days off per week. Nick, could you elaborate on, what hours are counted or, that are excessive or, what are not?
Yeah, definitely. Countable hours are defined as practice, competition, athletic meetings required by the coaching staff, as well as kind of setting up offensive, defensive linemen, little meetings like that. Some uncountable hours are study halls and community service hours.
Nick, how are competition and travel hours counted? Do those taken away? Do they go against hours or?
Travel hours do not count, but a day of competition counts as 3 hours regardless of how long the competition lasts.
Nick, what are some steps that student athletes and university officials can take to help avoid future compliance issues and breaking rules?
Just make sure to read your student athlete handbook, and if you have any other questions, contact your coaching staff if you have any questions, as well as go ahead and contact the compliance staff here at Southeast Missouri.
Nick, thank you so much for joining us today. We learned a lot. I think one of the things that the student athletes will take away from this edition was to ask before you act. Student athletes, you're going to face a lot of situations in your future university athletic career, and just remember to think before you do stuff. Consult your teammates, coaches, the compliance office, and make smart decisions before acting on impulse.